this episode of The Trend Talk, we have a slumber party in the studio. Brenda Mendoza, creator of Sleepee Teepee, tells us how to make it magical. We also talk to Cece Valencia, a fierce Latina who's been a voice of hip-hop in Los Angeles for the last 15 years. Adaptable athlete Misty Diaz talks to us about her journey to becoming a competitive athlete. All that and more on The Trend Talk.
Welcome to the Trend Talk and our special slumber party episode. We are rocking our PJs. Don't you look fabulous?
I always love it when I can get to wear my pajamas to work. And who says you can't wear fabulous pearls with your fabulous PJs?
Hey, we're just joining the
trend,
list,
right?
The list of celebrities who are trending their pajamas everywhere they go. They go out in them, they perform in them. So why not us?
Right, exactly. We showed up on the set with our pajamas and our producer said, go ahead, do what you want, and here we are.
But you know what? This kind of is a twofer, because we kind of like are dressing up, because we're dressing up our pajamas, and having a slumber party. And don't you remember how much fun it was to have a slumber party?
I know, and just because you get older doesn't mean you have to stop having slumber parties.
Exactly.
I mean, literally when I was walking the halls in my pajamas, it reminded me of when I would go have slumber parties, because you take your best PJs and everything.
And then you get together and you talk about the guys, and you talk about high school, and the guy you have a crush on, and your parents, and how, you just talk about so many things. And we don't have that outlet anymore, do we?
Well, we can if we want it, but we just forget. For example, I just had a birthday, and I invited my friends from high school, and we had a slumber party in Big Bear. We rented a cabin. We got s'mores, a little bit of wine. We rented scary movies. We were all in our PJs, and it was like an adult slumber party, and it was so much fun. We got to play games and talk. And as I mentioned, sometimes when you grow older, you think you forget that playful side of like just letting go and hanging out and having fun.
But we're in good company when we wear pajamas, is that in China, if you're super rich, they actually go out in their pajamas and they do their business wherever they go, because that's a status symbol saying, like, I am so rich, I don't even have to work, and I could go in my pajamas all day long.
Oh, wow. And then Hugh Hefner, let's not forget about him. He wore his pajamas to corporate meetings, to his parties.
That's right.
Everywhere he went. And that was a status symbol too, right?
Exactly.
So what do you say? Is this trend trendejo or trendissimo? What do you think?
I think this trend is totally trendissimo.
Me too. I love it. It's
and
so
what do you
comfy.
guys think? Have you guys ever been in your pajamas out at a party or rocking it on a romantic date? Let us know. Why don't you post some of your pictures on our Instagram, and we want to see those pictures, because that would be so much fun, and you might get invited to the next Trend Talk party.
Yeah, I want to see you in your pajamas, but it better be like not your birthday suit type. Not your birthday suit pajamas.
Okay, well, I wanted to introduce someone who is an amazing woman, whether she wears pajamas or not out in public. She's got a major platform. We interviewed her at our Latina Fest. She is a woman who's got a wonderful, big platform on radio and in the community. Her name is Cece Valencia, and we're going to get to meet her right now, so don't go away.
And my program director at the time told me, you know what, Cece, if you were a guy, I would have already hired you for the position. But nobody wants to hear a female at night on a hip-hop radio station.
We are so excited for our next guest.
Yes.
You hear her every morning in one of the most nationally heard radio station, Power 106. Her name is Cece Valencia, and she's made a name in the male-dominated industry of the radio airways, which is no easy task. Cece Valencia, welcome to the Trend Talk.
Thank you. I love this, so amazing. All these beautiful Latinas.
Oh, that's what's more exciting.
Yes.
All these beautiful Latinas and the men that accompany them. We don't want to leave them out. But Cece, I have been a fan of yours
And I've been a fan of yours and yours for so long.
See, these are women in the media. We kind of have worked alongside each other for so many years, and we are still here, and we're still kicking butt, right?
Yes, we're still here. We're still kicking butt every single day. You got to put in that work.
Okay, so you started DJing at what age?
Oh man, I started DJing in my early 20s, and I was actually at Wild 96 in San Bernardino, and then I left to Vegas for a few years. Came back to Los Angeles, was at K-Day for a while, then went to Latino 96.3, then came back to K-Day, and now I'm at Power 106.
And obviously, it's not easy to keep getting those radio jobs because those radio jobs are very coveted, and it is a male-dominated industry.
Yes.
How have you been able to survive?
You know, I just have tough skin. It was crazy because in the beginning of my career, I actually applied to be a radio personality for a night show. And my program director at the time told me, you know what, Cece, if you were a guy, I would have already hired you for the position. But nobody wants to hear a female at night on a hip-hop radio station. So I said, okay, no worries. So about a year, fast forward to a year, I moved to Las Vegas. I do a night show. The program director was a woman, hired me for the night show, and I became the #1 rated night show in Los Angeles and the top 5 in the country.
National Geographic magazine just named her as one of the persons that is shaping America's culture, okay?
Oh my God, that's so huge, yes! I was shocked that they wanted to interview me. You know, it's crazy, when I caught the eye of National Geographic and when they hit me up, I was a little nervous and apprehensive, and I'm like, me, you know, Mexican, we're so humble, and I didn't realize there were so many eyes on me until they approached me, and I was like, why not? You know, and my thing is that as Latinos, we're so careful and not to brag. We're so careful not to boast. But I've been taught throughout the years with my Latina peers, they've taught me, Cece, when you have an accomplishment, say it loud and say it proud, because you might change the way somebody thinks about Latinos. You might change the way they think of what we do and who we are and what we add, and our added value in that too.
Talk to me about when they said that you broke the mold of the culture. What exactly did that mean, and how are you reinventing the Latino culture?
You know, I think when they say I broke the mold, it was really hard because I had to prove myself, especially in the hip-hop industry that I work in, and that is my specialty. 1, I'm a woman. 2, I'm a Mexican woman. 3, I'm a Mexican plus-size woman in the hip-hop industry. So I had a lot to prove, but I grew tough skin. And that wasn't overnight. You know, if you're in this business, in whatever business that you're in, you're gonna have to have that tough skin. I grew that tough skin, and that led me to my next level, and I didn't stop. And I think that I was so busy moving and pushing forward that when I looked back, I realized I was like one of the very few women at one of the highest levels with the guys in this business. And I was like, oh man, and it was weird to see that I'm the only female in the room. Half the time I'm the only female. And I didn't realize that until I sat back and took a look, and I was like, oh man, all right, I'm really breaking the mold for females in radio.
You've been in a lot of rooms, like you said, that you're the only woman. You've had to prove yourself, and I'm sure you've gotten a lot of pushback from the male, your bosses or executives. How, as a woman that's watching us right now, how do you confront that pushback when you're in a room with men telling you you can't do this, you shouldn't do this, or talking down to you? You are obviously a strong woman, and you've had those circumstances. How do you?
Oh, I have them all the time. It was funny because before we walked on stage, I was telling Naibe, I'm like, I've been in radio for 16 years, and I'm still proving myself every single day. Because I am a woman. If I was a man, it would be different. I know that straight up. Because I'm a woman, I have to prove myself every single day. And it gets frustrating, and it gets tiring, and sometimes it makes me a little insecure, like, oh, what am I doing? But I know the bigger picture. The bigger picture is bigger than me. I know that I need to create that path for the next girl. So that's what keeps me going. And I just think throughout the years, I toughened up, and I didn't take anything personal. Everything's business with me. I know not to get personally involved sometimes, at work, so I just stay focused. I make sure it's business. If I get some constructive criticism, I always try to come back with a solution.
Very good advice, very good. So you are in this high energy job. You know, you're always going out and meeting all these people.
All the time.
But how do you wind down? How do you zen out? How do you do for yourself? And what's a good way to appreciate yourself?
You know, a good way to appreciate yourself is really just pamper yourself. Sometimes as women, we feel so guilty. We're like, oh, we're about to spend a lot of money on that massage. But you need that massage, you know? I hired, you know, if I go crazy, sometimes I hire, you know, a cleaning lady to come help me with my house, and she helps me together. I accept that help, you know, and I know that sometimes I need that. I'm not ashamed to reach out, and I'm not ashamed to put back into myself, because this is my brand. I am the CEO of Cece Valencia. Nobody is the CEO of Cece Valencia. You know, you are the CEO of Belle Hernandez. So this is our brand. We have to protect it. We have to covet it. So I'm very, you know, good about that. And also, too, to be honest with you, people say, oh, Cece, you're a radio personality. And I have to correct them. I say, no, I'm a Christian that happens to be a radio personality. And so that's where I find my peace at. You know, I make time for that.
How can you give a woman advice to have more self-worth? Because sometimes we feel a little intimidated or our self-esteem is low, but we need to have a healthy self-worth. How do you think women can accomplish a little bit more of that?
I think that we can accomplish it by attaching ourselves onto a stronger woman and having that support group. And I'll tell you a recent incident that happened. I had a recent incident where I was mentoring this young girl, and she was getting bullied. And she was really nervous to stand up for herself because she was doing an internship, and she was thinking that she thought maybe she didn't have a right to say so much or, you know, speak out. And I told her, no, you have the right, and you are protected. And it was really hard for her to come forward in this situation and stand up to the bully, but she did. And I was right by her side, you know, encouraging her and telling her, if you need anything, I got you. And she finally went and did the formal things that she needed to do to straighten out the situation. And she came back, she said, you know what? I feel so good because I stood up for myself. I feel so good because I actually stood up and I had a voice. And I think that's what she needed, though. She needed a stronger woman. So sometimes it takes women like us to take a younger woman to help them to become a better woman. And that's what it is.
And do you see the tide turning for us Latinas to be more of a powerhouse in the United States?
Yes. Well, I think we've always been powerhouses, you know, but yes, I think that I'm seeing it now, and it's crazy because in radio I see more females, I see more Latinas, I see more Latinas holding high positions, and it just encourages me and it makes me so excited. I love working with women, especially because I'm in an industry that's dominated, you know, nothing but males, and I appreciate them. I've had some really great men in my life that have helped cultivate me, but there's nothing like having a woman next to you and working side by side. So I love it and I encourage it, and I always say, you know, surround yourself with positive people. That's so important, and I know it sounds kind of cheesy because you hear it a lot, but it's so true, and you hear it a lot because people say it a lot because it's so true. Encourage, like, really support yourself, really have that group of girlfriends that you can go to and that encourages you. And if you feel that you have somebody that's always speaking negative to you, you know what? It's okay to still love them, but you can love them across the street. And that's what I always do. If there's a couple people in my, you know what I mean, in my business that are a little negative, I can still love on you and still, you know what I mean, be there for you, but I can love you across the street, not too close.
Tell people when you are on the radio. I'm sure a lot of them already know that. And where they can follow you.
Okay, you guys can follow me on my social media at I am Cece Valencia. You can hear me on Power 106 every single morning on the cruise show. Can I say something really quick? And this is just off the cuff. It's crazy that I'm sitting here because when I first started out in this business and I didn't really know too much what I wanted to do, I just knew I wanted to be in entertainment. I was still trying to figure it out. I was always looking towards you guys, you know what I mean? And you guys were always so inspirational to me. Any event that this woman was at, I was like, okay, she's a big person to know in the industry. I need to go ahead and be at the same events. But the fact that I'm sitting across from you, it just shows you guys how everything comes in full circle.
Cece, thank you. Powerful women, Latinas, we are here, and we ain't going anywhere.
That's right, we ain't going nowhere.
Thank you so much.
When did that happen for you?
So after my 28th operation, I hit like a platform where it was just like, okay, either I make a really big change.
Ya llegó el carnaval, mucha gente nos visita. Desde lejos
before we got all cozy in our pajamas and we started our Trend Talk slumber party, motivational speaker and athlete Misty Diaz stopped by the set to talk to us.
And she is amazing. Watch.
Hi, Misty.
Welcome,
Hello.
Hug.
I know.
You're an amazing person. I mean, we had opportunity to speak a little bit right before this interview, but you were born with spina bifida.
Yeah.
But you're a trainer and you are a motivational speaker. And tell us what defines you.
What defines me? Oh man.
I don't think anything defines
I
you.
know. I'm like
You're
overcoming
beyond definition.
obstacles, adapting. You know, I like to take things and figure a way out to, you know, make it fit to, you know, my needs and adapt. But as long as I'm moving in a straightforward motion, going with everyone.
And someone would say that someone with a spina bifida would not be able to do what you do.
Yeah, I think, you know, we all kind of put limits on ourselves, and society tends to put limits on us. And, you know, it's just really up to us if we want to keep going and, you know, prove ourselves, but prove others wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Misty, I'm curious, when was that time, that moment in your life when you decided to become an athlete? Because you're a true athlete. I've seen, she has muscles, she does like pull-ups. I mean,
you should have brought so we could see your muscles.
You are like amazing. So when did that happen for you?
So after my 28th operation, I hit like a platform where it was just like, okay, either I make a really big change and do something that I've never done, or stay consistent and hope for different results. I was already uncomfortable, so I might as well just do something I've never done before. And that was walking, and from walking I went to running, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
And now you compete in races.
Yeah, so I've done a little over 200 races all over the world. My next trip is Singapore, so I'm super excited for that. And what I like to do is I like to have, you know, compete wherever I'm competing in the world. And then I like to blast on social media, hey guys, you know, it's your girl, I'm coming. And friends who have, you know, different conditions and stuff come out to the race course, get to meet me. I get to meet them, most importantly. And it's just, you know, positive and just...
What spurs you on? What is that? There's something has to like push you forward.
Gratitude.
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 Yeah, that really takes you a long way. It's taken you a long way. Now you're not only into sports and training people, but now you're going into, you have a lipstick coming out.
So I am coming out with my own lipstick, which is by Real Her Cosmetics, and I am, you know, we all have something, you know, that makes us really strong and like feel really beautiful. And mine happens to be red lipstick, and ever since I started running in 2013, I would never forget my red lipstick. So I have proof going back, and it would just make me feel really just like brave and like strong.
And you wear it so well.
Thank you.
She does. And what's the name of the lipstick?
So the lipstick is called I Am Adaptable, and I am donating $1 per proceed to Challenge Athletes Foundation, which is an amazing nonprofit that helps kids and adults with grants to pursue their adaptive sport of choice.
And where can people find the lipstick?
RealHerCosmetics.com.
RealHerCosmetics.com.
Or my Instagram.
And we need to follow you on Instagram.
Yes.
What is it? Tell everybody.
So my handle is at Little Misty, LILMISTY, and Diaz, DIAZ.
And one big thing that Misty tells people is to just breathe, right? As a matter of fact, you have it tattooed on your arm.
So just breathe. You know, it's really in our breathing and how we handle when we're, you know, going through a really hard situation. We like to be like, and just get really tense instead of just stopping, relaxing, taking a deep breath, looking at our surroundings, and then continue forward.
This is so amazing. I am so honored to sit here and speak to you.
Yes.
And we look forward to having other conversations in the future.
I'm excited. We have a lot more to chat about.
Definitely. You're a true inspiration.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have met you. And thank you for coming to the Trend Talk.
Thank you.
Don't go away. We have a lot more fun here on the Trend Talk.
And it's just amazing how it just inspires people. And the whole idea behind it is to create unforgettable memories. I lost both of my parents.
Ya llegó el carnaval, mucha gente nos visita. Desde lejos y...
Come on down to the Trend Talk Slumber Party, and we're having just a good old time with our PJs and with these amazing teepees that kind of just up the ante with this slumber party experience, right?
Yeah, how many times do you remember going to a slumber party with your friends and just getting together, eating, watching TV, talking about boys, talking about your teachers? Or campgrounds.
Right, and you don't have to be a kid to do this. You can do it as an adult. Invite your girlfriends. Perfect for like a bachelorette party or for your 40th birthday or 50th birthday. Throw a slumber party. And I am so happy to have the creator of all of this, Brenda Mendoza from Sleepee Teepee. Welcome to the Trend Talk.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me here. I really appreciate it.
So you create the themes for your clients, right?
Yes, that's what we do. So basically what we do is we talk to the client and see what their vision is. Because just as our teepees are unique, so are the visions of our clients. For example, the one that you both are sitting in, it's for a date night. So that's just to give you an idea of what we would do.
Wow.
For that one. And the one I'm sitting in is for a boho theme. That's great for your girlfriends. It's great for preteens. So there's no age limit.
This is such a creative endeavor, and who would know you're actually a legal secretary by day, you're a PTA mom. How did you come up with this idea?
I came up with the idea because I was inspired by my parents. My parents used to play with me when I was a child. I'm an only child, so they were my form of entertainment. And so we would do that. It would be my parents and my stuffed animals. And as I grew up, I would start doing that with my kids and their friends. And I saw how that really made them happy. It brought a smile to their face. So and then when they got older, I thought, well, let me continue to do that. So I started doing it for my other friends and their families. And it's just amazing how it just inspires people. And the whole idea behind it is to create unforgettable memories. I lost both of my parents. So, buildings get knocked down, we lose pictures. So the one thing that I do have is the memory of them playing with me. So that's how this was inspired.
Tell me, who are your clients? Who rents these? And I know that you do this en masse. Right now we only have 2 teepees, but sometimes you take more.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes, well, a different variety. We do them for, we have a wedding, kids corner for weddings. And that one people usually get like 2 to 4 teepees. We've done, our newest thing that we've been doing is for the breastfeeding, and it's even turned into a bottle service for the kids. So we think of bottle service, we think of adults, but really it's for children too, for little infants, for the moms. Instead of putting them in their strollers, it's a nice little cushioned area for them to lay down. I put little fans in there if the weather is hot. I put the sound machine in there. So I try to cater to all of our clients.
What is the most out there teepee theme that you've done?
Oh, wow. I think they all are. They're all unique. I recently did a Coco theme.
Oh, nice.
And that was really nice because it's childlike, but yet it's even for the adults. And the unicorn themes.
And I don't know what it is about teepees, but you feel like this sense of peace, and obviously the teepees, I believe, came from the American Indians, right? Do you know a little bit of history of why it makes you feel like so connected to nature?
So spiritual.
Well, I know as far as like one of my personal favorites of the teepees is I use it as a form for prayer and meditation. And I know that even back then the Indians would use it as a way of community, bringing people together, whether it was a safe zone, whether it was a place where they lived. And so that's what I'm trying to create. I'm trying to create community. I want to bring people together. I want people to, for example, date nights, bring people together. Most people go on a date, it's usually let's go get dinner, let's go grab a beer, and then what?
This is so much more romantic.
Yes, and it's in the privacy of your own home.
And I love this idea also for like older girls get together, like as I mentioned, I'm in my 40s, and this is a great idea because it's so much fun, and like you said, it kind of it rekindles those childhood memories, and it takes you back to that innocence. But at the same time, you're a little bit more older, so you can have a little wine, a little cheese, a little cracker, and just kind of hang out.
This is so much fun. And so where can they find you if they wanted to do one of these teepee parties, or if they just wanted one and want to get a romantic? Where can they find you?
Actually, we are on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We have a website. It's the www.sleepee Teepee, that's SleepieTeepee.com. and they can find us there. And I have frequently asked questions and a lot of information on our website.
So is your business growing? Are you going to go international?
I would love to go international. I'd love to go not only from different cities, different counties, all across the world. My dream and my goal is to create a community, to bring people together, going back to basics. A lot of times, our children, they're on, like my daughter always says, screenager, because they're always on the phone. So this is back to having conversations, parents getting to know who their children's friends are, and most important, just building a community.
It has a whole spiritual feel to it, and I want to congratulate you for bringing that. The world needs more of this kind of
sense of community and peace, and I think just the fact that we're sitting down, it grounds you because you're so connected to nature and to and automatically you're just kind of more relaxed. So
thank you so much for being here with us. And
thank you.
We're going to enjoy the wine and all the little goodies you brought.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
All right, well, that's it for today, right?
Yes.
So we want to thank all of our guests, including Brenda Mendoza, for being on the Trend Talk Show. And don't forget to follow us also on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and obviously whatever channel we're airing.
Yes, and because if it's trending, right? Let's go.
We're talking!
Bye! Pass the wine.
Ya llegó el carnaval, todo es fiesta y alegría.
Con cultura, estos días llenos de algarabía.
Ya llegó